Hey guys, how's it going? I wanted to make a real quick announcement video. I have put up quite an extensive article that I've been working really hard on that is called An Introduction to Competitive Pauper. So if any of you have been following my casual series with regards to Pauper and have wanted to get a little bit more competitive about it but just didn't know quite where to start, I think this will be a great opportunity for you to kind of learn your way around. So definitely go check this out. I'm going to put a link in the description for puremtgo.com. I start off with a whole little description about Pauper, the information about any kind of PREs that are currently running. Definitely check out the Wizards forums for the most recent information. This information is gotten off the PDC Magic website, but this kind of stuff, event times and whatever, are always subject to change. So definitely check the Wizards forums for the player-run events announcements for the most up-to-date information. Next up, we got a couple of links for some helpful things, some good places to go for further reading on the subject and whatnot. I've taken a look at the different breakdown on aggro versus control versus combo. Gonna kind of go by these fast, so you have to go look at the article to see it. Then I've broken down some of our top decks. You have, a bunch of decks that you see every week. And these decks I've broken down into 3 tiers. And I go through each of these tiers, and I go into quite a bit of detail. I provide you with a sample deck list for the tier, and I talk a lot about what kind of makes them tick and some of the card choices in the decks. Now, these aren't kind of detailed primers. I'm not gonna. If I took the time to write up a primer for each one of these decks, it would take a significant amount of time. So just kind of a summary is what I'm providing you here. And like I said, there are 9 decks that I've taken as kind of the top ones that you will see every week, and broken them down into 3 tiers in order of, kind of strength. So go check those out if you're interested in kind of learning about these decks or looking for a specific deck list. Talk about all that. Next, I kind of talked about all of the different decks that have the possibility of showing up. We are very lucky and fortunate in Pauper that we do have a format that is pretty open to homebrews and rogue decks, and it's very friendly to those. So I kind of break down, this is a full list here of all of the different deck types that I have encountered over the time that I've been doing this. I think at this point in time I've been keeping track of the metagame for about 15 weeks now. And these are all the decks. There's 50 of them that I've actually come across. This is a full breakdown of the rogue decks, so if you want to take a look and check out what rogue decks have been showing and how often and whatnot, that's all there. Just want to quick point out, you get an average of 16 different rogue decks showing up on a weekly basis, which is great. Further on, we're talking about the prices of getting into Pauper. Now, this chart here is obviously taken from the series state of the program, which is a great piece for you to read no matter what you're playing. Also on puremtgo.com. It's offered on a weekly basis and talks mostly about prices and whatnot. So go check that out. And kind of talking about that is the Pauper version of the table. And this is a breakdown of all of these top decks. I had those top 9 decks that I've tiered off, and I've broken down each one of those to the exact card choice and shown you the cost to put that deck together based on the prices of mtgotraders.com. These are subject to change, but they will be pretty accurate to what you can expect. Next, I've also, done the math for figuring out the prices of some other popular decks in the format. So I have, here are the 9 most popular. These are some other most popular, and just to save space, I didn't break it down on individual cards, and I just gave you the total. Following that up with a chart, this is a graph that shows you kind of the range of prices, what deck costs what, in order from most expensive to least expensive, and these are color-coded by tier, so you can see the tier 1s are in green, the tier 2 decks are in orange, and the tier 3 decks are in red, so go check that out. And I finally sum it up with a look. If you're not familiar with my articles, if you've just found me on YouTube, I offer every 2 weeks an article that provides a look at Competitive Pauper and the metagame. So there's a section in that article, and you can see this is kind of a breakdown of what you can expect if you do check out those articles, what you'll see from me on a weekly basis. As a special bonus for this, I have provided this information in the form of kind of a total of these 15 weeks. You'll notice the weeks are a little bit altered. It's not exactly 15 because there are some numbers that got skewed in my data, but this gives you a look at what it has been over the past, a little over 2 months that I've been doing this. Close to 3 maybe? I'm not going to do math, but again, it gives you a look at what you can expect from me on a weekly basis. Now, at the end, kind of a summary on what I've been working on. I have another building post episode that is almost complete. I just have to get the videos posted, and I've been really busy and haven't been able to do it, but I will try and get that up soon. I am going out of town for a week, so if you're following my articles, there will not be an article from me next week. But because that is a competitive week, I am going to follow it up the week after with double the competitive information, so go check that out when it comes back. And my link's at the bottom. You can subscribe, follow me on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube if you're just coming across this, definitely. And finally here, email for deck help. I have that series on YouTube exclusive that is working with fan fixes and offering, if you give me a Pauper deck to look at, I will give you my thoughts and suggestions on what I think could be changed in the deck. So email link is in the bottom of the article there. Send it along and I will get to it as soon as possible. Not necessarily going to be able to get to it right away, but definitely send them along and I will get to them eventually. So go check that out. Again, link for this article will be in the subscription, and hopefully it can help you out if you've been just a little hesitant on getting into competitive Pauper because you weren't really sure what you were getting into.